Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, welcome to the Environmental Biology course with the course code BOT-432. I am Dr. Amana Khatoon, Assistant Professor, Department of Botanical and Environmental Sciences. Today, the topic for the discussion in this lecture is air pollution, its major effects. The main topic to be discussed in this lecture include major pollutants and their causative agents, and effects of those pollutants on human, plants, and materials. So students, in this lecture we will briefly discuss about all pollutants, their main sources, through which sources they are discharged into the environment, and then we will move on their effects. So the first pollutant which I have taken, this is the carbon monoxide, that is represented by CO. This is actually emitted into the environment through incomplete combustion of the fuels, and from this figure we can see here that about 75% of the total carbon monoxide discharged into the environment came from the transportation. The other sources for carbon monoxide include residential wood burning, that at about 10.6%, and from aluminum smelter we can see here about 9.1%, from the pulp and paper industry around 2%, and from other sources also 2.4%. So these were the sources through which the carbon monoxide is discharged into the environment. So now we will move towards its effects on human health. First of all, we'll discuss about the human health. Number one is it reduces oxygen carrying capacity of the blood. This carbon monoxide actually reacts with the blood, and in turn it decreases the oxygen carrying capacity of the blood because it occupies the oxygen place on the blood. Next is it decreases in vision and causes cardiovascular diseases, cardiovascular disorders, all those health issues related to the heart, that are the cardiovascular disorders. And carbon monoxide, it is the big factor for these problems. It causes headache and nausea. It affects on climate at increased global temperature. So we have heard the term that global temperature is increasing day by day. So from that fact, we can say that carbon monoxide is actually a big cause for this increase in global temperature. Effects on plants include leaf senescence, that is the leaf dropping, and size reduction of leaf. Carbon monoxide causes actually the weakening of the leaf bases, and as a result it causes leaf senescence. And also if leaves are not dropped, their size may be reduced. Even they are intact with the trees, still their size is reduced. And the next one is carbon monoxide reduces nitrogen fixing capacity of bacteria associated with plants. Students, we have previously discussed that how bacteria are involved symbiotically with the plants in the activity of nitrogen fixation, and here we can see that carbon monoxide, it reduces the nitrogen fixing capacity. It means that carbon monoxide affects the overall health of the plant and bacteria also, because through this association bacteria and plants both getting benefits. But when carbon monoxide decrease or reduce this association, meaning thereby that health of both bacteria and plant would be decreased. The next pollutant, that are the oxides of nitrogen. In common terms, we can say the NOxes, that are various oxides of nitrogen, that include nitrogen oxide, nitrogen dioxide, and nitrogen N2O also. As far as the various sources for the emission of nitrogen oxide into the environment, again we can see here that for nitrogen oxides, transportation is the main source. Around 84%, around 85% is the that is the cause that cause the addition of the various nitrogen oxides into the environment. And after transportation, we can see the other sources and other industries around 5%. Again, paper and pulp industry also adding the nitrogen oxides, and cement plant also adding the nitrogen oxide into the environment. As far as the effects of nitrogen oxide are concerned on the human health, they reduce blood carrying capacity like carbon monoxide. The nitrogen oxides also reduce the blood carrying capacity, and they cause lung problems. And because when nitrogen oxide is combined with the blood, definitely the oxygen carrying capacity would be reduced. And as soon as the oxygen carrying capacity is reduced, we have many lung problems. Because of this decreased capacity, we have many lung problems. And effects on plants, nitrogen oxide reduces plant growth and yield, and it has a bleaching effect on plants. Bleaching means it actually decreases the chlorophyll contents, and as a result, and the greenish color of the plant would be disappeared, and plant will appear somewhat whitish in color. So we in general we can say that nitrogen oxide have some bleaching effect on plants. And the last factor that caused by the nitrogen, various oxides of the nitrogen, that they form secondary pollutants. So they are involved, not only they themselves are toxic, but they are involved in the formation of secondary pollutants also. Of course, that are even more dangerous to the plants. Next are the oxides of sulfur, the SOXes. Various oxides are there, for example, SO2, SO3. They collectively called the SOXes. And as far as their causative agents are concerned, we can see here the transportation industry is not the main source, but non-ferrous metals. Non-ferrous metal, we know ferric is for iron, so non-iron metals, they are the main source for the various oxides of sulfur, around 48%. After this, the transportation that caused the addition of sulfur oxides in the environment, and aluminum smelters, they are also adding sulfur oxides in the environment, and other industries, petroleum, pulp industry, and various sources, they are adding the sulfur oxides into the environment. Now, effects of sulfur oxides on the human health. First of all, again, the respiratory problem is the main problem which is caused by all air pollutants. Then they cause damage to the marbles, clothes, paper, leather. They cause damage to all these materials. And as far as the plants are concerned, they cause the damage to the leaves, that is the foliage damage. They cause leaf damage to the plants. And when leaves are damaged, definitely they will result into the damage, into the decreased yield, both quantity and quality. So we have to notice that oxides of sulfur, they are causing not only the quantity decrease, but they are reducing the quality of the yield. So the the crops which are growing in the presence of sulfur oxide, they would have a compromised quality as compared to the normal crops. And at the end, they form secondary pollutant also, like oxides of the nitrogen, oxides of sulfur. They are also involved in the secondary pollutant formation. So of course that secondary pollutant would also be more dangerous compared to even the primary pollutants. The next one is the hydrocarbons. They include methane, ethylene, terpenes, etc. Their effects include, number one is the carcinogenic effect. Now students first understand what the carcinogenic effects are. They are all those effects that cause the cancer in the human being. So these hydrocarbons, when emitted into the environment, they may cause the carcinoma in the humans. The next one, they form ozone and PAN, which are harmful. We can see here in the diagram that this is the light injury, and this we can, because here the minute effects of the PAN. Here some moderate injury, and here is the severe injury due to PAN in milkweed leaves. Also, hydrocarbons cause their damage to the plants, rubber materials and fabrics and paints also. So all these materials which are exposed in the environment, they would be damaged by the hydrocarbons. Next one is the particulate matter, are the materials, and commonly they are known as PM. Now students, this is, I think maybe this is the new term for you. So first please understand what are the particulate matter, what are the particulate materials. Actually they are very small in size, that's why they are known as the particulate matter or the particulate materials. And if we have to compare their size, we can imagine a strand of human hair. For example, this is a strand of human hair, and its size is about 70 micrometer. Here this is the hair cross section, this one, and its size we can see here, that is the 70 micrometer, the size of this hair in diameter. And as far as the size of the particulate matter is concerned, we can see here that their size is even very low compared to the hair section. They are about 10 micrometer, and even their size may be 2.5 micrometer. So they are very small in size, and they pollute the air. Their effects on humans, effects of particulate materials. First of all, the very dangerous effect that they cause premature death of the human being even before birth. The fetus may die if the mother inhaled the air which include particulate materials in high concentration. And they may cause aggravated asthma. Means if a patient is suffering from asthma, then these particulate materials will enhance that asthma. They decrease lung function, they cause shortness of breath. And people with existing heart and lung diseases, as well as the elderly and children, they are particularly at risk because of these particulate materials. And for your interest, students, you know that pollen allergy and dust allergy and such kind of particle allergy, so these are all because of these particulate materials, because they are very small in size and the human can inhale them with the air. So when they are inhaled, they cause many problems in the human. Effects on plants. They cause reduction in light required for the photosynthesis because they cover the surface of the plant leaf, and so they minimize the light access to the plants, so they reduce the light. They cause increase in leaf temperature due to changes surface optical properties. Because of the deposition of the particulate material on the leaf surface, and the optical properties are changed, and the surface temperature of the leaf become high. Some alkaline particulate materials may cause leaf injury. Some particulate materials are alkaline in nature and they may cause leaf surface injury. In severe cases, foliar necrosis or completely disappearance of the plants. Foliar necrosis is the tissue death in the leaf, and sometimes the complete plant is also disappeared because of these particulate materials, because they deposited on the surfaces and they just cause the death of the plants. They may cause foliar, morphological, anatomical, and biochemical changes. So, of course, in the size and shape of the leaf, then various anatomical changes, and which lead towards the biochemical changes. So, students, that was all about the major air pollutants and their effects. And these are few references which I have discussed for the preparation of this lecture. This is the recommended book for this lecture. Maybe you need some details about any kind of topic in this lecture, you can go through this book. I hope you will get enough information. Thank you very much for your concentration.